the world of biology through Jaguar classes of Jagran Public School, Noida. Today we are starting Unit 1 Diversity of Living Organism, in which we will continue with the chapter 4 Animal Kingdom, and in this part 2 of this chapter, today we will cover the topics silent or salient features of non-chordates, characteristics of phylum Protozoa, phylum Porifera, phylum Cnidaria, phylum Ctenophora, phylum Platyhelminthes, and phylum Asaliminthes. We will also discuss about a little bit classification of phylum Porifera, phylum Cnidaria, and general characteristic feature of all these phyla we will study in today's class, and in which phylum Ctenophora, phylum Platyhelminthes, and phylum Asaliminthes also we will take to learn about their characteristic feature. The learning outcomes after today's class that we are expecting: knowledge based, in which you will be able to recall the basic knowledge of classification of animal kingdom that we have learnt in earlier class, and you will also be able to define chordates and non-chordates. In skill-based learning outcomes, you will be able to practice your listening skills to differentiate between various phyla of animal kingdom on the basis of their general and specific characteristic feature. You will also be able to critically analyze the importance of basis of classification of animal kingdom into chordates and non-chordates and different phyla. In competencies, you will be able to use your collaborative learning, critical thinking, and problem solving, communication, and analytical skills. Now, let's start our today's class. Today's class, in which we will continue with the chapter Animal Kingdom, and in today's class we will focus on the classification of non-chordates. And as in earlier chapter we have already discussed, the whole animal kingdom is divided into two major groups, chordates and non-chordates, on the basis of presence of or absence of notochord, which is a rod-like structure. Now, in this part, we will cover salient features of non-chordates, characteristics of phylum Protozoa that we have already discussed in Protista. That means we will not talk about Protozoa here. And according to the five kingdom system, the living world have divided into five kingdoms, in which second kingdom is Protista, in which we have already discussed about the Protozoa. And phylum Porifera, phylum Cnidaria, phylum Ctenophora, phylum Platyhelminthes, and phylum Asaliminthes we will discuss about the general characteristic feature and important characteristic feature of these phyla in today's class. Side by side, here we can elaborate about the phylum Protozoa, phylum Porifera, phylum Cnidaria, phylum Ctenophora, phylum Platyhelminthes, and phylum Asaliminthes into different groups or subgroups. Now we will start with this chart that I have shown in earlier classes also, and according to this chart you will clearly able to see that the Animalia kingdom is divided into chordates and non-chordates. As we will focus on non-chordates in today's class, here is the chart of that different phyla which are including in the non-chordates according to the Animalia classification. We will not take here the protozoa that I have already told you. We have discussed in Protista kingdom about them, and from here the classification of Animalia kingdom in non-chordates we will talk about Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Asaliminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 phyla, which are including in that non-chordates, or which are already included in that we are talking about in detail in today's class. Now, we will start with salient features of non-chordates. Here in this picture, you can see that there are so many non-chordates are shown here, and the first salient feature we are starting from here, as notochord is absent in these, that's why they are known as non-chordates, and in all phases of life cycle there is no notochord. Gill slits are also absent. Nervous system is ventral and heart is dorsal. Ventral means front side and dorsal means back side. Most often an exoskeleton is present, and animals are cellular, diploblastic or triploblastic. Diploblastic means two germinal layers in embryonic stages, and triploblastic means three germinal layers, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm are present during embryonic stages. Circulatory system is either open, closed or absent. Reproduction takes place by both asexual and sexual methods. Larval stages are also seen, and asexual reproduction takes place by regeneration and budding. Non-chordates are mostly, or we can say that they are cold-blooded animals. They cannot regulate their body temperature as per the change in outside temperature. That's why they are called cold-blooded animals. Now, here is in this slide, we are not talking about so much because this slide is giving us the uh, classification of protozoa, and protozoa we are not including in the non-chordate group of Animalia. We have already discussed about them in the Protista kingdom, and this is also the slide related with the protozoa that we are not talking here in detail. Now, we are starting from this. The first phyla that we have seen in the chart of non-chordate group of the Animalia kingdom is Porifera. As per its name, the basic body design of this group of animals are pore bearing. That means they are pore bearing animals. They are multicellular organism with the cell aggregate plan, and there is no any differentiation level at tissue and organ system level. They are cellular level of organization. Most are asymmetrical on the basis of symmetry, however, some show a radial symmetry. They have a diploblastic body with a central cavity called spongiocele for water transport. They have numerous pores, smaller are called ostia and larger are called oscula. Exoskeleton in these animals is composed of calcareous or siliceous spicules of the spongin fibers, and the mode of nutrition is holozoic and involves conocytes or collar cells with intracellular digestion. Reproduction is sexual or as well as asexual by gamules. They are capable of regeneration. Very high efficiency of regeneration is in them. An example, Sypha, or which is also known as Sycon, and this is shown in this diagram also. This is the picture of Sypha or Sycon. Now come to the next part, that is classification of protozoa that we are not. Now, characteristic feature of phylum Cnidaria, which is also known as Coelenterata. The diploblastic animals which are belonging to this have an outer epidermis with nematoblast or nidoblast cells, due to which this phylum is known as Cnidaria, and These cells are stinging cells because they inject hypnotoxin into the prey as a defense mechanism. They have a radial symmetry. Body lacks a true cavity or coelom. However, it has a central gastrovascular cavity. They have only one opening called mouth or hypostome, which is surrounded by short and slender tentacles. Some cnidarians, such as corals, which you can see in this diagram, these corals are seen, which are giving a wonderful world under the sea, or that is a very attractive world under the sea due to the presence of these corals, which have an exoskeleton composed of calcium carbonate, and they show two types of body forms: sessile polyp and free swimming medusa. Sessile means which are attached to a substratum. Such type of forms are known as polyp, and free swimming are medusa. Both show metagenesis. What is the meaning of metagenesis? Alternation of generation, as we have discussed in plantae kingdom also, means they are alternatively showing the two different life cycle or two different forms in their life cycle, asexually reproducing and sexually reproducing at alternate time period. Reproduction is asexual by budding, or polyp form is the asexual form, and sexual form is the medusae form by ova and sperms. Example are corals, hydra, etc. Now, here in this chart, you can see the classification of Cnidaria or Coelenterata into different classes. This is not in your chapter of NCERT, but you can see here this Cnidaria group is further divided into the Hydrozoa, Cyphozoa, and Anthozoa classes, according to which they are mostly marine organism in Hydrozoa class, and with a few freshwater organism, both polyp and medusa are well developed in that case in this group. And examples are Hydra and Phycelia. Cyphozoa all are marine forms with a prominent medusa stage and a reduced or absent polyp stage. Example Aurelia, jellyfish, and you can see here this is the jellyfish. And Anthozoa is the another class group in this Cnidaria or Coelenterata phylum. All are marine forms with a prominent polyp stage, and then the medusa stage is absent in them. Example, sea anemone and corals are coming in this category. Now come to know the characteristic feature of the another phyla, which is the third phylum of the animal kingdom, that is Ctenophora. First one was Porifera, second one was Coelenterata or Cnidaria, and now we are talking about the third phylum, that is Ctenophora. They exhibit tissue level of organization. Animals are diploblastic and acoelomate. Acoelomate means lack a true body cavity. These animals are generally marine with a radial symmetry, and their body shows a pair of long retractile tentacles that you can see here. These are the long retractile tentacles with adhesive called coloblast cells. With the coloblast cells like these one, the coloblast cells. Bioluminescence is a peculiar characteristic seen in these animals, due to which they are giving bright colors at the night time in underwater sea. Reproduction is sexual. Animals are hermaphrodite, means able to bear both the sex gametes in one animal only. Fertilization is external. Larval forms are called cydaptid larvae, and the cilia are closely placed and arranged in plates called comb rows. Hence, They are commonly called as comb jellies or sea walnuts. Example Tinoplana, Pleurobrachia, and this is also known as sea gooseberry and cestum. Here you can see that the diagram or the picture of Pleurobrachia. Now we will talk about the characteristic feature of phylum Platyhelminthes. As its name suggests, it is a group of flatworm, and tapeworm or Taenia solium is one of the representative that is shown in this figure of this group or this phylum. Body is body is showing organ level of organization. They are triploblastic and acoelomate organism with a leaf or ribbon like dorsoventrally flat body showing the bilateral symmetry. The body is differentiated into an anterior head with hooks and suckers and nervous tissue as well as and a tail with the head. Nervous system is very primitive in such type of animals. Excretion and osmoregulation occur by means of flame cells or protonephridia. Reproduction is mostly sexual since these animals are mostly hermaphrodite with internal fertilization. Asexual reproduction seen in planarians by fission and regeneration, and they are mostly endoparasites. Examples are Taenia solium and planaria of this group. Now come to the classes of Platyhelminthes. Here the three classes of Platyhelminthes are given: Turbellaria, Trematodoa and Cestoda. These are not in your NCERT text, that's why we are not talking about them in detail. And now come to this is liver fluke, Taenia solium, and now we are talking about phylum Acelyminthes, which is also known as Nematoda. They have triploblastic and pseudocoelomate body with an organ level of organization. The body is long, thread-like, unsegmented and cylindrical with bilateral symmetry in this group. They have a complete alimentary canal, tube-in-tube system. Most of them are parasitic and have a head with hooks and suckers. Nervous system consists of a circumpharyngeal nerve ring around the esophagus. Reproduction is sexual as sexes are separate. Examples are Ascaris, roundworm, Enterobius, pinworm, and Encyclostomata, hookworm. Phylum Acelyminthes, which is belonging to the group in which we can say that belonging roundworms. This, this worm is endoparasite to humans. Males are smaller than the females, and the females have large number of that lay large number of eggs which are discharged with feces. And here you can see that in this figure male is larger, and here in this female you can identify it by that rounded or turned and one end of the female inducible. When food contaminated with these eggs is consumed and the eggs hatch and move to the intestine via the circulatory system in our body, and there are no secondary host, it causes ascaris in children with severe anemia, for which we are taking the deworming tablets time to time. Phylum Acelyminthes, which is also known as Encyclostoma duodenale hookworm, and this worm is a parasitic in intestine of humans, and it causes a disease called encyclostomiasis, in which the infected person becomes a severely anemic person. How life cycle of hookworm, you can see here how this life cycle is going on with that egg are passed in feces of a particular person. Larvae reach small in the intestine, mature and start feeding. After that, these larvae get hatched and develop in soil, which can get entered inside our body, and resist, they resist themselves towards our different body mechanism, and cuffed up larvae are swallowed by that persons, and larvae reach small intestine, mature and start feeding there, where they lay egg, and these eggs passed in the fecal matter. Larvae migrates to grass through that grasses or fecal matter that is lying here in the field, and larvae penetrate skin causing ground itches and enter bloodstream to that person. Larvae then enter lungs and alveolar space causing cough, and that coughed up larvae are swallowed by other person. In that way, this life cycle hel- helps to spread that animal in the meat. Now, phylum Asaliminthes, where we are talking about a worm, Wucheria bancrofti, which causes flaresis in humans. It requires a secondary host, the Culex mosquito, for its transmission. Females are larger than the males and discharge larvae called microfilaria into the blood. The mosquito sucks the infected blood, and the larvae then develop in the gut. When such a mosquito bites a healthy person, the larvae are transferred into the blood. They move to the lymph glands and grow to become adults there, and they then cause obstruction and swelling leads to the disease elephantiasis. Here, the cycle of the that Wucheria bronchafti inside the human as a host, and how it is multiplying, that is shown here. You can study this life cycle of Wucheria bancrofti here. Now, have a quick recap about today's topic that we have taken in this part. Here are the main points that we have covered up in this topic. Non-chordates do not possess a notochord during any time of their life cycle. Protozoans are unicellular. They are classified as Mastigophora, Sarcodina, Celiophora, and Sporozoa. Examples Paramecium that we have not taken in this slide in detail, and we have already talked about the Protista phylum, in which we have taken the protozoas and animal features. Phylum Porifera is classified into Calcarea, Hexatin, Enlada, and Damosopongi like Cycon. Phylum Nidaria with a coelentron cavity is classified into Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, and Anthozoa. Example are Hydra, sea anemone, etc. Animals belonging to phylum Ctenophora are also called comb jellies or sea walnuts. Example Pleurobrachia. Phylum Platyhelminthes, flatworms, are divided into three classes: Turbellaria, Trematoda, and Cestoda. Example are Taenia solium and phylum, and liver fluke is also coming in this. Phylum Asaliminthes consists of parasitic worms which cause ascariasis, encyclostomiasis, and elephantiasis. Examples are ascaris, which is coming in this group. Here is one assignment, writing assignment for you. Describe the few general characteristic feature of non-chordates that you can complete in your note registers. Now, try to understand about this is the answer for your writing assignment that you can see here. Now, come to the next part, that is we are talking about here Porifera in this today's class. With the help of this video presentation, you can understand the different characteristic feature of poriferians, and rest of the videos we will take in next class. Today we will focus on this Porifera phylum, which is the first phylum of the animal kingdom. Try to understand their characteristic feature with the help of this video.
Porifera. Most animals, including humans, have a skeleton that helps provide their body with form and structure and offers protection to their internal organs. Such organisms are vertebrates. But there are some animals, such as the earthworm and cockroaches, that don't have a skeleton, yet are still completely functional. We refer to this type of animal as an invertebrate. In this session, we look at the phylum Porifera, which is made up of these invertebrates. Poriferans, commonly called sponges, are multicellular animals that can be found in seas and lakes. The body of a poriferan is covered in many minute openings or pores, giving it the appearance of sponges. Water is able to enter the body cavity through small pores known as ostia and leave through a single large opening known as the osculum, which can be found on top of its body. All sponges are sedentary, meaning that like a plant, they'll remain fixed in one place. Sponges have no tissues or organs. They vary in both size and shape, including ones that are tubular or barrel-shaped. Examples of these organisms include Spongula, a freshwater sponge, and Fuculina, one of the sponge's marine forms. Poriferans can reproduce both sexually and asexually. Sponges have the remarkable ability to regenerate lost parts. When a small piece or even a single cell breaks off from the body of a sponge, this fragmented portion has the ability to grow into a completely new sponge. The separated cells will settle on a base and other cells will soon develop to form a sponge that will grow into an adult. Summary. Animals without a bony skeleton inside their bodies are known as invertebrates. Poriferans are also called sponges. Poriferans are sedentary. Sponges reproduce through asexual and sexual modes.
With that, we have finished our today's class. I hope that with the help of this video presentation, you will be able to see clearly the characteristic feature of Poriferians or Porifera phylum. About others phylum, we will discuss and see and watch the videos in next class. Have a nice day. Thank you.